Right now on News 4 at 6, jobs in jeopardy. State leaders are mum on the future of a new plant in Dunkirk.
Plus, new questions are being raised over an elderly woman's death at a local nursing home. Why her family says the facility handled it the wrong way.
And 3D crime scene. Get a behind-the-scenes look at new technology that investigators are using to solve crimes in Niagara County.
900 jobs. Think about it. On a population of 12,000 people in Dunkirk. That is a major, major development.
Our top story tonight, it sounded too good to be true. A promising plan in Dunkirk may be hitting a roadblock. Governor Cuomo told us back in February that Athenex would bring 1,400 jobs to Western New York.
Those jobs could be in jeopardy. News 4's Al Vauders is digging into this. Al?
That's right, Nalina and Don. A little bit of good news coming a little bit later. Governor Andrew Cuomo came to Western New York, Dunkirk to be exact, back in February, and announced Athenex is expanding, creating 1,400 new jobs, 900 of them in Dunkirk, and investing $225 million in new facilities. Well, the work in Buffalo is going okay, but folks are a little on edge in Dunkirk.
It is a game changer for Dunkirk.
Governor Cuomo's hyperbole back in February, promoting the $200 million state-of-the-art production facility planned for Dunkirk, raised hopes in the southern tier.
For Dunkirk, this is a game changer. This is a big boost to our economy, and it's the best news that I've heard for our city in my entire life.
The plan, Athenex would build a new pharmaceutical test lab at its U.S. headquarters in the Convenience Building on the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus, and a new $200 million state-of-the-art production facility at Dunkirk, creating 900 new high-paying jobs.
900 jobs. Think about it. On a population of 12,000 people in Dunkirk. That is a major, major development.
While work stopped just briefly on the testing lab in Buffalo, the only thing that's changed at the production site in Dunkirk since February, the snow has melted and Athenex now has the deed to the property. Ground was supposed to be broken back in April. Athenex officials would not comment for our story, but the SUNY Polytechnic Institute is the project manager, and that seems to be where things got bottlenecked.
As a governor's signature project, he pretty much stands behind what he says when he goes to get it done, and so we certainly thank him for that, and I'm confident the project will move forward.
And late this afternoon, the governor is making that happen. A spokesperson for Empire State Development emailed us saying the state is strongly committed to ensuring both Athenex projects come to fruition. Empire State Development is taking on the lead role in overseeing the project and is optimistic they will successfully move forward in an efficient and timely manner. The spokesperson confirms SUNY Polytechnic is being removed as manager for the Athenex project, and it's being taken over by Empire State Development. As we reported, officials involved in the project feel SUNY Poly's reams of red tape are what has been slowing things down. Al Vauders, News 4 at 6.
This is a new photo of Ruth Murray, the elderly woman who died after she was beaten at a Buffalo nursing home. Murray died from her injuries 2 days after the altercation.
The nursing home staff told police another resident beat the woman. News 4's Dave Graber spoke with the victim's family today. Dave?
Well, Nalina, to say the family is distraught is to put it extremely lightly. Between sadness and despair at the loss of their mother, Ruth Murray, and anger over the fact that they and police say the nursing home, Emerald South, was not forthcoming about her injuries. And those injuries were severe. This picture, provided to us by the family's attorney, Brown Chiari, was taken just before the beating took place. Doctors told Ruth Murray's family that she had several broken ribs, a broken nose, facial fractures, broken bones in her neck, and a collapsed lung. But the police and the family say the staff at Emerald South told them her injuries weren't serious, like a cut to her face and her nose and some bruising on her backside. An autopsy on Monday determined that Ruth Murray's injuries contributed to her death. Emerald South has low federal ratings and received dozens of citations during its last state inspection in March. The question is, how can a place like that continue to serve the community?
Despite those horrible scores, those very low ratings that they achieve, without complaints, without residents actively taking part in the process. You don't have the oversight that you would expect under these circumstances.
You have to document, you have to follow up, and that's the only way that we can actually get these organizations or these long-term care facilities that aren't meeting the standards, highlight what's going on.
Now, the Erie County Department of Senior Services is a resource for families looking for help finding long-term care for a loved one. Meanwhile, Emerald South said they've spoken with Ruth Murray's family and are conducting their own investigation, as is the state's Department of Health, the same agency that cited them for dozens of violations back in the springtime. Reporting live in the newsroom, Dave Graber, News 4 at 6.
Florida is now bracing for Tropical Storm Hermine. This is video out of the Gulf Coast. Some areas are already seeing heavy rain and flooding, and the storm will hit several states.
Airlines are also warning customers about possible delays and cancellations. You might just want to check here if you're flying that way. Our chief forward meteorologist, Todd Santos, is tracking the path of the storm and joins us live from North Buffalo. Hi, Todd.
Well, hey there, Donalina. You know, with a system like this, it's been in the Gulf for a couple of days, slowly developing. It is finally now considered a tropical storm. The outer edge of these produce a lot of thunderstorm activity, and that can be enough, even while the system is 100+ miles off the coastline, to still produce some issues with airline delays. There's a look at it, and what you're seeing here on the imagery here, this is enhanced satellite imagery where the coldest, highest cloud tops in the storm show up in that bright purple color, and you can already see the outer edges of this that have been raking Florida with some heavy rainfall. Look where the system is centered, way out in almost the center of the Gulf of Mexico. Max sustained winds are on 45 miles per hour, current movement north-northeast at 6 miles per hour. The only real change for the last couple of days is that the track has shifted a little bit to the north, and it's slowed down a tiny bit. So still Thursday night and early Friday morning is the actual landfall time, but as you mentioned, it's already been raining there. It'll likely work its way across the Carolinas and then off the mid-Atlantic coastline. Notice this is right into the long holiday weekend. I think it's far enough to our east to not produce any issues here in western New York, but we'll have to watch it after Monday because the remnants of that could produce some other issues along the east coast. Additional rainfall totals for some areas upwards of 6 to 10 inches, especially in the orange color for us. Nothing close to that, but we are tracking some thunderstorms right now with temperatures eventually cooling back into the 60s and even upper 50s tonight. We'll take a closer look at our rain and our beautiful long weekend next. News here at News 4 at 6. Don, Melina.
Thank you, Todd. Two fast-acting sheriff's deputies saved a baby's life on Grand Island. The deputies rescued that child from a hot car.
We're told the baby's parents accidentally locked the child inside. News 4's Callan Gray joins us live with how the deputies reacted. Callan?
Melina, Don, it's safe to call them heroes after they rescued this 9-month-old baby from the hot car at a home on Grand Island yesterday. Thanks to their quick thinking, we're told the baby will be okay. When the parents accidentally locked their baby in the car, they immediately called 911. Deputies Vogel and Yavicoli arrived and say the baby's face was turning red and was sweating. The child's father gave Deputy Vogel the go-ahead to break the front passenger window. They then rushed the baby into the house where they put the child in a tub and ran cold water. The baby was in the car for a total of about 7 minutes.
This was truly an accident, and thank God that it didn't turn tragic. This could have quickly turned disastrous because it was hot yesterday afternoon. Temperature in the vehicle can rise quickly, can get into the 120, 130 degree range, and that can be fatal to anybody, especially an infant.
Because this was just an accident, the parents do not face charges. On another note, Deputy Vogel is a school resource officer who is out on patrol because school isn't in session right now. She did cut her hand during the rescue, but everyone involved is expected to be okay. Reporting in the newsroom, Callan Gray, News 4.
Callan, thank you. The Niagara County Sheriff's Office is changing the way they investigate major crashes, crime scenes, and deadly shootings. The new technology can virtually take you to the scene of the crime.
And News 4's Marissa Perlman is here to show us how it works. Marissa?
Well, Don and Alina, the Sheriff's Office tells us this device essentially eliminates any human error. They showed us how it helped them piece together a lengthy investigation into a fatal shooting.
To have that there, it's like something you see in Star Trek.
This is the 3D technology that the sheriff's office says doesn't lie.
It's always there. You're not hiding anything. You really can't hide anything.
That was the case with this deadly shooting in Wheatfield last year. A standoff took place between a Niagara County sheriff's deputy and a 25-year-old man. He had just shot and seriously injured both his parents inside their Eric Road home.
Obviously, this was a very high-profile case, and we wanted to capture as much detail as we could.
This 3D evidence from that day justified the deputy acted correctly. A week-long investigation showed he needed to use deadly force during this chaotic shooting that unfolded just feet from an elementary school.
This is exactly the way it was when we went into that house, when we were outside the house. This is what it was right then, right there at that time.
It was one of the first times they used this technology. Here's how it works. The laser plots points in a 360-degree radius and simultaneously takes pictures of the scene. And this is the result.
Capturing the scene as it was that day, that time, and it picks up everything to scale.
Before this technology, investigators would measure crash and crime scenes manually, often making human errors. For them, it's all about how the evidence is handled.
By using this system, we mark it right at the scene. If it can be collected, we'll collect it, and we can actually bring that into a court.
And anytime you have a major crime scene like this, the goal is to be as accurate as possible, especially when bringing this evidence to court.
It brings the truth, as it eliminates any of that he said, she said.
Now, it's important to note that in this Eric Road case, the suspect did die from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and the suspect's parents did survive. Live in the studio tonight, Marissa Perlman, News 4 at 6.
Screening for Zika. After the break, learn the new FDA guidelines protecting us from the virus.
Taking the mound to celebrate a big milestone. A local man throwing out the first pitch at the Bison's game is celebrating a big birthday.